Landlords Podcast.
Welcome to the Lord's Minute, our quick hit video series where we talk about all the biggest happenings in gaming and beyond. I'm your host, Ty Tano, writer for Lords of Gaming. And with me today is none other than Lord Cognito. This is a special Lord's Minute as we are here to talk about Destiny 2 Lightfall, the latest expansion from Bungie, where Guardians are transported to the new last city, Neomuna, in order to help stop the darkness and Callus and figure out where the veil is, even though we don't know what the veil is, but we'll get into that. So Cog and I, we have both played Lightfall. You've gone through the entire campaign, correct?
Yes, the entire campaign is complete.
Excellent. So we're here to basically talk about what we liked about it, gripes, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I'm gonna let Cog speak first. Now, Cog, you're a Warlock main, like myself.
Yes.
You got Strand into the mix. Your boy Osiris was heavy starring in this expansion. So how are you feeling about it?
I mean, it's a very conflicted thing because finishing the game, I felt narratively let down. But the more I play it, I feel now I'm getting context on certain things, just a little bit. But overall, the core gameplay loop is still as good as ever. The skyboxes are absolutely stunning. I'm loving some of the end game content too. It doesn't address all the things I have a problem with, but it's been helpful to get some especially with some of the Cloud Striders and things. We will get into that. But my initial impression was, look, they came off Witch Queen, which in my opinion is God tier Bungie. That's Bungie, like, just at a classic level. The story of the Hive, the story of Savathun was just so well done. So the stakes were high. We know, to me, I looked at Lightfall as the Infinity War moment. And overall, I'm just like, man, it didn't hit that bar for me because part of the motives I've said it on IOP is what makes Infinity War great is for people who are unaware for Thanos. Like, I followed the comics, I know him. But for people who are unaware, it's like, okay, why is he here? What is his motivations? What are the Infinity Gems? What do they do? And the problem with Lightfall is we didn't get the answers we needed. So that's my initial, I know we're going to get into it, but that's my initial feeling of why I was disappointed narratively. But the game itself, Strand, the missions, the exotics, and then obviously we got an upcoming raid coming, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there. And there's some other characters like Nezarek and stuff that we're getting a lot of context on. So that's my initial feeling right now. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I very purposefully wore my Witch Queen shirt today because no matter what objectively you try to do with this, going into this, in terms of the lens you view this campaign, people were going to compare it to Witch Queen no matter what, because we were coming off such a high point narratively just from that expansion alone. And then there were some ups and downs with year 5 seasonally, but for the most part, started off strong and it ended strong. And so people were very hyped, especially, like you said, that Infinity War moment. I think it was Bungie themselves that described that this was going to be like Empire Strikes Back. They definitely were trying to channel those 80s action movie vibes. But this wasn't Empire Strikes Back. It's the problem. The campaign first mission started off strong out the gate. I liked the vibes. We had the witness in there, the airspace battle, going through the ship chasing after Osiris. And I knew there was something a little worrisome. That when the mission was coming to a close and you were getting in the Cabal drop pod, and there's just something off in how that scene played off. You could go into Osiris and he goes, "Early, hurry up, Guardian. We're not gonna make it. Hurry up." I think I got whoa. I'm like, okay, that was kind of off comedic timing. And then we get in the drop pod. I'm like, okay, I don't really feel like the urgency's just gone. I'm in a weird loading screen. And then from there, Osiris's character was kind of weirdly, he's still obsessed and finding Strand, figuring it out, and chasing after the veil. And the first half of the campaign, his tone seemed very mad aggressive, because in the beginning of season, the Seraph, he was very much focused on trying to get one step ahead of the witness, and he was fighting back and retorting, lashing out at like Anna and everyone around him, and people were like, "Yo, you need to chill." And so he very much has this energy in the first half, and then the second half, he goes Mr. Miyagi and mentoring you, the Guardian, and then he kind of bonds with Rohan, and then kind of tries to counsel Nimbus through their grief. But it's just Osiris is kind of all over the place for me in this campaign. Um, but there are some bits, again, we're gonna further flesh this out. Once you get past the campaign and you start exploring, there's some bits of the character that are like, okay, I really like that Osiris is still kind of this archon figure of immense knowledge and prowess, because his little shot they set up in Strider's Gaze, if you look
Yes.
around his table, you can look at all the different elements of the subclasses and his research he's done on that. I'm like, hey, that's the
Yes.
Osiris I like to see.
Yes.
And I guess for the campaign itself, what really fell flat to me is that
I fell flat.
so you're chasing after the veil that is somehow tied to the traveler that the witness in the darkness wants. It's never really explained, even post campaign, what the veil actually is, but we just know we got to get to it. And then we built up this entire campaign to get to the veil, to stop Callus. And when we fight Callus, and stop him and kill him, one, Keitel was not there for the killing blow. I felt like that was her right. That was the closure that she needed. When we went to phase 2 for Callus, it's a 2-phase boss fight. I'm like, okay, Callus, Keitel jumped in the previous mission when we were running from Callus' ship. Surely she's about to airdrop in somehow. Nothing. And then she's there for the final cutscene. Is like, well, I guess it's over. And I'm like, what? We literally built this up for 2 years. And even further, if you think about things like the Midnight Coup going into the Red War, and for her not to be there, to have that is just insane. Like, I don't understand narratively why they thought we should get the kill and not Keitel. That seems like a huge missed opportunity. But after that fact, of course, another weird trope, Nimbus shows up, is like, good job, Guardian. Like, where were you? And then they teased this before with the witness in the darkness messing with our ghosts. And the witness, it does it again, takes over our ghost, which there's a big 5 seconds where I guess we're patting ourselves on the back and we don't notice ghost is floating away. But, and I saw someone online comment this, of all the things that we could have done to stop ghost from getting to the veil, we decided to hold up a gun that Keitel suggested we shoot it. That shouldn't have been our first intention. What do you mean shoot our ghost? We have a grappling hook now. We could, of all the things to show off our prowess of strand, spider flick to try and like tug it back. It could have not worked, but at least try. And then, you know, the witness gets what it wants anyways, and then Nimbus swoops in, grabs our ghosts, whatever. So it basically left me with a feeling of, oh, so everything that we just did was for nothing. Basically, I was here to get Strand, and that's it. Because the veil is gone. Well, it's not gone. The witness made the connection. It's still there, powering the city, I guess. But witness is gone, leading into what we're assuming is going to be the raid. And I'm going to toss it back to you. Those are probably the biggest gripes with the campaign itself.
Look, man, let me get, where do I begin? Where do I begin? All right. So here's the thing. Like, the reason why this hurts so much is because prior to the campaign, I felt Season of the Seraph was so well done and such a perfect lead-in to Lightfall that I'm like, to me, I think it's even a better lead-in to Lightfall than the season prior to the Witch Queen leading into the Witch Queen. That's just how well it was done. The whole, sacrifice by Rasputin. And like you said, I'm with you. The opening mission of Lightfall, I'm with you. Very action. Osiris is like, look, man, that ain't gonna work. We got to go to the Amona. And for him, this is big. Obviously, he's been broken. He's lost his light. And then he's not been trusted, right? Because of the Savathun takeover. People, Ikora, if you have the collector's edition, there's these briefings that they talk to him about, like, is it truly him? Can I trust him? And they're kind of slowly mending that relationship. And if you do the dungeon prior to this, what you call the last dungeon prior to Lightfall, this was a big win for him, the existence of Neomona, the Nefele stronghold, that this is real. So it's like he's transformed into he's like the old man now. He doesn't have his powers. He's this old man. He's fragile, right? And no one really believes. But then the part I did like, and I agree with you, is the grumpiness. Like he's yelling at us a lot during the campaign of Lightfall. Like he is on us. There's no time to waste. Da, da, da. And at some points I understood, but at some points I'm like, damn, oh, you gotta chill. Chill. Oh, now the other thing that was a little disappointing for me, because I'm a fanboy of Osiris, is that I thought this is the only thing that didn't make sense to me. He becomes the mentor, the sensei, as you say, for Strand. And my issue is, one, Strand is used as a kind of a random plot mover of the story. Like it's too prominent. And where they, I hate to be crap, they blue balls us all the time. Like they give you the thing, you're like, okay, oh, I'm sick. Oh,
I didn't even use it for the final boss because I'm like, I can't customize in any way, and it's just not worth it.
Then where it's really bad from a game design standpoint is that I'm wearing exotics and stuff for the build that I'm going into, and then you're randomly giving me stress. Now I'm literally ineffective. I'm not optimal for these hard encounters. And if you're playing on Legendary, which is the ideal way to play because it's a true challenge, you know what I'm saying? Like it's tough. So on one hand, I felt Strand was overused. You know what I mean? I didn't like that the way he kept doing it. And then he really still didn't explain it as well as if Osiris is going to be the mentor, then selfishly, I feel he should have the power. Is this only for people who have ghosts? You know what I'm saying? Like
Beyond Light, we saw Elsie, Eris, and Drifter using stasis, but we never got that moment with Osiris. Wasn't in any promo of him using it.
Then they teased it because he's talking to Nimbus in the hall thing, and you see it going around. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's gonna happen. And I felt that would have been a nice arc for him that lost his ghost. So that didn't happen. Okay, fine. I'll get over my fanboyness. They didn't do my man right. Okay, fine. Here's the thing: the Cloud Striders come, and okay, I want to love them, right? I really like. I love the look. I'm an OG. If you've been around, they are literally like a carbon copy of this cartoon that we used to like called Silverhawks. They're all silver, the metallic, very cybernetic, you know, cyberpunk kind of feel. Then a Silver Surfer energy with the board, like design. Love them. Love them. Rohan, I'm like, all right, I'm getting to like you. Nimbus, I know what y'all doing. Y'all doing the young upstart rookie who's, you know, carefree, whatever. My only issue with him was that, you know, excuse me, because I don't know how he identifies. I'm sorry.
Nimbus is you're good. Nimbus is they, them, and then Rohan is he, him.
Got you. Thank you. So Nimbus, my only issue was like sometimes I felt the jokes was too forced. Like everything is silly, you know. And then Rohan, I'm like, okay, I'm getting to like you, but it becomes predictable. Like I'm like, yeah, he ain't gonna laugh.
That's another pain point of I'm glad you mentioned it with Rohan. Everyone was kind of like fearful with the promos of, you know, the famous line, Rohan to Osiris, like, not all of us have lives to give, Guardian, Light Bearer. And then, you know, everyone's thinking, okay, we got two, you know, the whole Sith, there can only be two, and one dies somehow, and, you know, one's younger, the other one's older, only have 10 years to live. And you get to the mission where it's supposed to be this big heroic sacrifice for Rohan, and the way it turns out, and you can't actually shut down the thing, so of course Rohan has to sacrifice himself to stop it. But that we didn't even get like a climactic cutscene or anything. It's just like, oh, Guardian's not gonna work. Okay, there's only one thing left to do, etc., etc. Godspeed, and then that's it. I'm like, is that it?
Yeah, it was again.
Okay.
They had moments that I felt that in their mind they thought was going to hit emotionally. And it just didn't translate. So it's either you needed more time to flesh out these scenes, flesh out these characters. Completely agree with you with that. And what sucks is that a lot of the gameplay I go a lot of I love the battle prior to us getting to the when Kaido was on the field and you had the turrets and stuff. It felt like a full scale war. I like when Destiny has the characters along our side and fighting with us. That felt like full scale war. Oh, first of all, I do have to give them props though. Tormentors, love you. The true fear of God. Oh, they coming. Oh, you better watch out. You gotta move. Like the suppression, the indomitable. It's coming for you, to grabbing you up. Like that's the type of enemies that kind of even more so than the Hive Guardians, because like
Yeah.
even though Hive Guardians had a nice mechanic where you had to go out there, you had to go in, mix of danger, get that ghost, kill them, or they come back. This was a different feel, very, very brutish. You know what I'm saying? And I like that in Destiny when things don't feel easy. So I want to give them that. I want to give them full scale war. I want to give them. I even liked. I know this is controversial, but I like the Strand Osiris trading mission. And the reason why is because I didn't necessarily click with Strand at first. I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But that mission forced me because you got the circle around, you got that barrier coming
You gotta
on you.
constantly move. You gotta deal with snipers and also enemies right in front of you. Yeah, it was a lot.
Yes. It made me ingratiate with the class, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I got the synergy, I got the flow. That mission really helped me. I fell in love.
You weren't good with grapple before. You got good.
Oh,
then.
you got good then. Oh, you gonna get good. You're gonna get good. So we got that. But yeah, finishing up, like now we get to the crux of it, which is, this got to be real. What you said is dead on. First of all, they did Callus dirty because Callus from the Leviathan Redwood days, like you said, the Midnight Coup, we're talking about a person who was overthrown for dominance goal. Then we have Keitel, the daughter, an amazing dungeon that we had some backstory, how he named her, the whole history. Then we get to this moment. Keitel has only one moment I like when she comes in to help a couple of missions earlier. And she brings in like a ship to help you escape one of Callus's traps. This series, I gotta be real, I was very disappointed in him as a disciple. Like he comes off bumbling. I get it, my man, flamboyant. I like his flamboyance. I love this shine. But my issue was like, first of all, he's failing a lot. Let's just call it a real. He's failing a lot. There's only, and at one time, like, is the witness ever going to check this guy for his deliverables not being met? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll toss it back to you. I wasn't convinced that Callus was truly the final boss or Lightfall until it happened. I'm like, there's no way. There is no way that Callus actually is the final boss, because we've had this buildup to at least see Xivu or Wrath, and we got no mention of her whatsoever, even after the ending of Season of Seraph, where Xivu was like, okay, this is checkmate, Guardian, what are you going to do? And then we had this emotional sacrifice.
Good point.
Then Nor follow-up with Xivu at the very next beat. Nothing in the season of Defiance either about Xivu yet, just, fighting off Callus's shadows and the Witness. But back to what you're saying.
No, you're right. And that's another thing. That's the point. I also feel there was an underutilization of the majority of the characters. Like Zavala and them are really not in it. You know what I'm saying? Like listen, I'm all about Osiris screen time, but it literally became Osiris, Nimbus, Rohan for when we had him. The Callus scenes, I mean, the Witness, yes, but the Callus scenes didn't hit for me. And then, like you said, like it was so deflating because we were like, it's so predictable. That's it. There was no twist. There was no Savathun come through. I
was also hoping for that because it's been a while. And we essentially have her to thank once again that we even know about the Veil Neomuna because of Osiris's memories in her.
Yes.
And again, the goddess of trickery, and one that tricked the Witness itself. If there is anyone that the Witness is even remotely like afraid to check someone, it's Savathun. And nothing. Not even like a secret end to the campaign of Imaru.
Yeah.
It would have been mind-blowing because everyone's like, we're good, we got Savathun locked up. But if anything, everyone's kind of like that Palpatine plotting of, all this falls out and then you just pan to Imaru and getting a message, I guess now's the time, and over. There is like a elixir, a bottle of genetic material that Savathun saved to be revived later after she died that we had no idea about.
Bro, they missed so many opportunities for like that, the traditional like Marvel post credit, right? Like we just give us something else because you didn't move the story. And then the last thing with the Witness is, look, I'm gonna be honest, I lost a little points with the mystery of it. Like there's still so much to ask, which is, okay, why is the Veil so important? Now we've created this, literally he stepped through a door through the Traveler. I revisited his statements to the Traveler. It's kind of like, we don't You're not going to cause pain anymore. So he's
Right.
almost looking at the traveler as, let's say, a liability, but as something that is not as good. Is clearly the traveler, in my opinion, is like the gardener in the story, right? This
Yeah.
is a thing that gives out life. It's a, as Osiris, one of the best. See, that's why I love what you said. Well, when Osiris was good, in the few times he was good in this, was when he's explaining things, right?
Mhm.
And he explained, he was calls, he said, oh, the traveler is like a terraformer. It gives life, it does this. Then when he talks about all the different powers and strand and how it relates to the universe, like that stuff is very cool for Destiny lore. The thing now with the witness, though, where I'm a little confused is that I'm not sure now. I think they may be playing a game on us.
Okay.
I am not sure, and this is where they could save this a little bit for me, that he is actually the winner in the sense
Mm,
of the evil that we are intended to face. The reason why
mm,
I say it is because
okay.
he his thing seems he seems on his goal that what the course of action that the traveler is doing is incorrect, but he doesn't seem to necessarily want to destroy. Everything seems to be revolved around the final shape. So we have to know what the final shape
Yep.
is. So part of me, my new theory, is that we may be viewing him as an evil entity and that is controlling the darkness. But I'm almost getting a potential watcher vibe from him.
Mm, okay.
And people are like, yeah, because the watcher is not supposed to intervene, which is valid, right? But there have been few instances in the MCU
Right.
where the
Yep.
watcher will intervene when the threat of the overall universe is in jeopardy. So, in
Mm,
my opinion, he is either the cosmic balance where the traveler is just too powerful,
hmm
and they have to write that. That's my new theory. And I forgot the boy has a great, I think his name was Evase. He has a great video out trying to explain, because we know it's bad when Bife don't know what's going on. You know you didn't
Oh,
do your
Bife is
job.
in shambles at the base campaign.
When Bife don't know, when Lord Daddy don't know, you know you
Mm,
didn't do a good job of telling this story. Because
yep.
that was the main thing. I wanted more context, more. Now they saying, Bungie saying, we're supposed to get that in this seasonal stuff, but that's no excuse. The expansions, you set the bar,
Yep.
you set the expectation that this is where we get, and you didn't move it forward. So now you got me a little nervous for
Yep.
final shape, because it's like how you mishandle Infinity War, bro. Like you
Yep.
still have so many threads. We still got Nazareth, Zivu Arath. We still got
hmm
so many threads
Yeah.
unanswered. How are you doing it? And that's the question. So, I will see. I have my theories on the raid. I know a lot of people are hopeful. I don't think it's I hope I'm wrong. I hope we go inside that thing and we can see. But they are strong with this Nazareth right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
where I'm going with it. So what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah. I think let's see, to wrap up the campaign part and get to final thoughts when it comes to what we got with Lightfall.
Mhm.
Um I the Witness, yeah, on some hands, I like the new characterizations I'm getting from the Witness. I was very much getting like a Pain from Naruto
Yes.
vibe type of villain arc when he was talking about pain and all this and talking to Callus. This is one of the few moments where, they had a chance to build up Callus more from previous lore entries of when Callus, talking to Callus, so what is it that you want or you require?
Mhm.
You want for nothing. Therefore,
Yeah.
that is your fear, and that fear brings you pain.
Mhm.
And people who read the lore know that all this goes back to Kyle's trauma of when, Callus left Kyle's mom and didn't want her back and kicked out his new wife and children, and that you know, it's not that he it's not that, she was dead or anything, Kyle's mom, is that he just didn't want her back, and that
Mhm.
his opulence came first and foremost. And that if he could buy the happiness of Kyle, he would.
Mhm.
Um, so that type of hollowness really could have sent him skyrocketing in terms of, how far that he has fallen and how much that's twisted him with the witness and all that.
Mhm.
But moving along, we pretty much harped on what we don't like about the campaign.
Mhm.
Strand after the campaign
Mhm.
got some points.
Nice.
Still it's kind of strange, and they even made a joke from the Cloud Striders on how we discover it in the campaign. The Cloud Striders was like, wait, So you can see all these weird strings in the fabric of the universe. Is that just a ghost thing? Do you need a ghost? Okay, cool. Good job, Guardian. And I'm like, they're right. Why are we the only ones that know about this now? And it's never explained. We're just like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the strand builds they're slowly developing with each of the subclass.
Mm-hmm.
Got the suspend masters, you got the
Woo.
threadlings, you
Oh
got
yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
severing.
Oh yeah.
And so that's been exciting, especially when you get like the new synergy with strand weapons, strand
Yes.
perks. That's been a
Yes.
lot of fun to dive into. And
Mm-hmm.
exploring Neomuna as a location after the campaign. I still enjoy Neomuna as a location. I think it has some good variety with the patrol zones.
Mm-hmm.
Terminal overload, when you have people for it,
Yes.
is a
Yes. Yes.
very cool instance.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't gotten a chance to do the rare public event within the incursion zone that you can get exotics to drop from it.
Right. I haven't done
That's
that
not
one.
happened for me yet. I think Scarrow had an instance and talked
Ooh.
about it, but
Okay.
I have not had that happen.
Mm.
And then the post exotic quest where you learn
Yes.
more about the Cloud Strikers is really cool. Like Rohan's research into the Black Guard, and I was like,
Ooh. That was
whoa,
beautiful. That
this
question.
is some good lore. So that
Yes.
was a lot of fun. And then seeing all the past Cloud Striders and
Mhm.
seeing this is where Nimbus was kind of evolved and saved a little bit for me in the post things as you're seeing them deal with their grief and losing Rohan and them kind of trying to become mature fast and take up the responsibility as a new Cloud Strider, try to guide you on things moving forward and basically answer the question that the players all probably had, like you had, is that why is this character just trying to be Cade 2.0, forcing jokes here and there where it doesn't make sense? Like, you just lost your father figure. Shouldn't you be crying? And basically, Nimbus saying, Cloud Striders don't have time or luxury to
Right.
stop and deal with their grief. Um, and they are trying to live up to Rohan's expectations and do what they think Rohan would have wanted. Osiris came in and counseled them a little bit and being like, it's okay to stop and take a moment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I appreciated that. And the quality of life changes, lastly, and I'll throw it back
Oh,
to you,
gotta talk about that.
are
Yeah.
probably the saving grace first and
Woo.
foremost with the campaign. There's still some hiccups when it comes to like the loadouts.
Yes.
But the new mod systems, I'm enjoying how they're tried to rework the new light experience with the commendation system.
Yes.
And it seems a lot of people universally love the quality of life changes. I know some people are like, hey, you can't give them that when it comes to Lightfall, that's separate. But in my opinion, the casual audience, the majority of players are gonna bring them together, just like in my review for Witch Queen. I prefer Witch Queen introduced weapon crafting that was packaged in, even though
Yes.
that wasn't solely included with Witch Queen. It still goes hand in hand, in my opinion. So,
Mm-hmm.
how are you feeling about post campaign stuff, quality of life, all that jazz?
Yeah, post campaign, I'm actually having a really good time. I'm loving the exotic quests. I got the like I said, the Rohan's weapon. I forgot is it the void machine gun. I forget the name, but it was a great callback to a lot of the Black Garden stuff. It really felt good. I was like, okay, and then I'm loving the relationship of Nimbus and Osiris improving and realizing they have more similarities than they think. And actually, Nimbus actually now starting to respect Osiris a little bit in his pain and what's going on. And finally, for me, again, I'm biased, but I got the Sagira on screen respect that we needed because
Yep,
Sagira was
it's been a
too.
while that moment, but go ahead. I
Oh,
know what you're talking about.
that was the cherry on the sundae for me. I know people are, oh, it's just show the screen this again, but you gotta understand the way Osiris lost his light was so cheaply done and off screen that it
Yep.
was disrespectful to me. I was like, you cannot do this to a major character. So they finally, I felt they took the feedback and they paid that forward. And he had his emotional moment with Sagira. Like you heard him say that. And then there was even a moment prior to that where I think when the Pukas was around and he
Yep, he tried
instinctually
to.
tried to because he's used to that hit me that caught me in the fields. I was like, damn, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I felt that. So I love that. Post campaigns give me something. The content I like. Listen,
The
I
new
like the Amuno.
difficulty as well.
Yeah, the difficulty is great. The skyboxes are gorgeous on Neomuna to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I get it. You know, the complaint would be, oh, but it's empty. It's not life going on. And they got a little narrative story. They kind of uploaded themselves into the metaverse. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But you can't
Literally
say
the cloud
if they,
uploaded themselves to the cloud.
but you can't say it don't look cool. And for me, I love the Hall of Heroes. I think it looks
Yes.
beautiful. This is the technological museum. I'm learning about other Cloud Striders while I'm doing this patrol and stuff like that. I thought that was well done. Now, as far as the quality of life, that's been a cherry on the sundae for me because, you know, as a person who loves build crafting, I'm that guy. I'm that guy in the clan that people get so mad at me. I will take and I'll be like, you guys get ahead because I'm gonna go to the tower and I gotta see what synergy. I'm loving the strand synergies. I'm loving the what is it? Envious Assassin, the one where you shoot with one weapon and then you switch and then you can overload the magazine. It's like a buffed up version of like redirection, recombination kind of stuff it's really good. Hatchling. I don't know if you got any hatchling weapons yet.
Got the SMG to drop with hatchling. Yeah.
Bro, I got the Envious Assassin with hatchling on that. I got the machine gun with hatchling as well. That's the strand. The artifact synergy where you don't waste a slot. And it's just intrinsic. Beautiful done. Like,
want to talk about power creep after they just nerfed us? Like, don't worry, we got you in the artifacts though.
Exactly.
Like,
the artifacts are the meta. That's what changes the game. So many cool things there, and loadouts are a godsend. So the actual game, and some of these exotics are, you know, they're really good. I know a couple got disabled, but they're really good. But I will say, quality of life has now elevated. So for me, in conclusion, look, the narrative was a miss for me, but you know, was this the worst expansion that they've ever done? No. It's just that the stakes were so high, so we have that disappointment, right? So where I'm at right now is I'm gotta say this before we go. I love the seasonal content with Mara. And bro,
claps. I was ready for it. I didn't think we would get another Mara-centered season so soon.
Yes.
But just more of her. How she's evolved, this has just been the first week, how she has evolved as a character. Because I remember back in the day, people were like, you know, screw Mara, she's too cold, or, you know, everyone hates Mara, et cetera, et cetera. But the way that she has evolved, even past what you read in the lore, because if you read the lore, then you understand her point of view. But now Bungie is showing and telling that story first and foremost, with Mara trying to counsel Ana, counsel Elsie, talking to Eris, trying to talk to Crow. Crow not giving Mara a pass, still being like, oh, you know, boundaries, huh? And the way that she's moving forward, and that she has accepted that she's going to be there for her people first and foremost, and that she isn't going to turn tail and run, because she knows that we are in this together, whether we like it or not. And the only thing I can do is be that wall / defense for my people and the allies. And that is what she is doing on the farm. And I love that.
And what I like is what made her growth even more better is, again, on-screen explanation. She basically said, look, I trust you, the Guardian. You know why? Because I'm going to imbue you with my power that lets you go through this paracausal realm. And the thing that she says, because she had a beautiful line. She was like, I don't believe in all inherent light and all inherent dark. And she said, the fact that you wield that, I trust you, and I'm going to imbue you with that. That was so well done to me. And the fact that mission, when they're going to save the humans that are getting snatched up on the EDZ and sent up, like that whole stuff, I love it. I love everything about it. It's been fantastic.
And one more point. When she's talking to that callback parallel to when you first meet her in Destiny 1, of when she's saying, you know, you'll be my Queen's Guard and I will imbue you with my power, but I don't ask for fealty. That was not the case when you first met her in Destiny 1. She had that snooty attitude above all, and she, you know, was trying to get a Guardian as a henchman beforehand.
As a goal.
And yeah, so just incredible journey. See, like moments like that of, like you said, this wasn't the worst expansion. There have been some disappointments and setbacks, and the reason why there's so much uproar around this is because we have seen the capabilities of Bungie. We've seen them at the top of,
Yeah.
screaming Bungie in the streets. Witch
Woo!
Queen.
Remember that?
Yeah, a bunch of the narrative beats leading up from that, and all the expectations riding high. How we were in circle singing Kumbaya before Lightfall dropped
Facts.
after that last cutscene for
Facts.
Season of the Seraph. So like we know that they're capable, and we
Yeah.
know that hopefully they'll
Mhm.
turn this around and write it, because Final Shape, this is it.
Mhm.
This is it
Is
for
it?
D2 in this story. So it's got to be good one way or the other.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much it for me for now until my official review for LogiCGaming.net.
Woo!
After the raid, I'll be writing up
Yes.
that review.
Nice.
Anything else you gotta say, Cog?
No, bro, look, love our talks. It's been a while. It's been a minute to do a Lord's
Mm-hmm.
Minute. You know, what I'm saying with you,
Yep.
me and you've been talking. We had to get there were a lot of emotions we had to get off our chest as Destiny
Yeah.
fans. So I view these as our therapeutic sessions to go through it and talk. But no, look, like you said, they know what the stakes are. I'm still having fun playing with it. Obviously, my last point is I probably have it. It's definitely Witch Queen is God tier. Then we have I have Forsaken, and then I'll probably have it third right now, but I got to see how it depends on how that raid, because I like Deep Stone Crypt. Deep Stone Crypt was good. What you call it? Shadow Keeps. I remember what Shadow Keeps raid was. I'm bugging now. Why am I blanking?
Garden of Salvation.
Right, I didn't care for Garden too, but I like the cinema with the witness though. I did
Yes.
like that. I just didn't care for the raid as much, but it was
Yeah,
okay.
I don't really like Garden.
Yeah, I didn't really like Garden. Whatever. So it has a chance to still be over that. I won't put it as the worst thing. So we'll see. We got a couple more weeks and we'll see how this thing plans out. But another Lord's Minute Lightfall
Yep.
discussion deep dive.
Yep. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. This has been the Lord's Minute. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at lordsofgaming.net. I'm Tayetano, here with Lord Cognito. This has been the Lord's Minute. Eyes up, Guardians.
Peace.